All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vices and Superfluities. Today, I just got home from work not long ago, and I'm drinking a cold beer right here. This is the Blue Moon Iced Coffee Blonde. It's pretty good. Um, but I got something on my mind that I just want to talk to people about. I was thinking about it quite a bit at work today, and that is the green stuff that makes everything go around. I just want to go ahead and get this episode out of the way because I know it's going to come up and people are going to ask about it because everybody always asks about it. They want to know how to make more money, how to make money on their own, um, how to break out of the cycle of being stuck in a job that you don't like to make money that isn't the money. It's not the amount of money that you need all the time. And I feel pretty strongly about this subject, and that is because a lot of people, and myself included, have the idea of making money kind of backwards. Um, we're shown and told that we need to go get a good job to make good money, and we need to spend money to go make that money and go through training programs or get a college education that costs, at this point, $100,000 for a bachelor's degree. But that doesn't have to be the case, and you can make it come to you on your own, and it doesn't require. I don't want to say that it doesn't require effort because you do have to work. You still have to produce something for it. But the important thing that I want to talk about is something that kind of falls under the law of attraction, which I don't really like or care for. A lot of the new age concepts and things, I think they sound there's too much like woo, as people say, involved with it. They make it sound too magical. But again, what I want to do with this show is make those things seem more practical, because they are practical, and it's just the way that our world works. Um, but don't fool yourself into thinking that you need to stay in a job that you don't like, and work for 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, so that you can make money to provide for yourself, because you don't. If you're stuck in that situation, what a lot of people get stuck, how they get stuck in that situation is especially people that make a lot of money, they end up getting trapped, because they make a lot of money and they spend a lot of money and they set their lifestyle up in a way that requires a lot of money. And that pinholes them into the position of being where they're at. And, if you got a good job and you make $100,000 a year and your lifestyle costs $75,000 or $80,000 a year, it's hard to walk away from that and go try to find something better. But what I've done, and what I want to try to help other people do, is be able to get out of that and, not rely on a job or a position or landing a big contract or whatever it is for your income. What I do is very simple work. I do handyman work, and I'll give you an example just for today. My day started around, probably got going around 9:30. Went to Home Depot, picked up a couple things for the first job that I had. Went and knocked that out. Took about an hour and a half, and then I drove to my next job, went and got it done, and it took about 2 hours. So all in all, I left my house at 9:30 this morning. Got home around 3:30, 4 o'clock. Could have been a little bit earlier. We just took my time and went slow today because I didn't have a lot on the schedule. But I made $550, and all I did was, my first job, I mounted a mantle on these people's stone fireplace. And then my second job, I hung a ceiling fan, and and then I changed out a light fixture. Ceiling fan was, 12, 13 feet high, and the light fixture was at 18 feet. So I had to use my scaffold to get up there, which does require a little bit of risk and things like that. But what I really want people to understand is that your mindset is what attracts the money that you need. And if you're stressed out about money or not having enough money, then that money doesn't want to come around. It's just like if you know somebody and all they do is complain and they're always in a bad mood, you don't want to go hang out with them. So if you have a poor mindset about money and you think that money is stressful or money is hard to come by, it's just going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you're going to be stressed out trying to make money, and money is going to be hard to come by. And in order to open yourself up, or to make possible what I'm talking about, which is being able to just relax, take the stress away, and allow the blessing to come to you, you have to have things structured in a way so that that's even possible. If you're stuck in a job and that only pays a salary, or you have an hourly wage, and that's not going to move very much in most cases. You know, most employers will give you what, a 5% raise a year. You're lucky if you get a 10% raise year after year. Especially on hourly. I mean, I've known people that get excited about, you know, a 50 cent an hour raise, and it's like, okay, cool, man. Well, how many hours a week do you work? Do I work 60 hours a week? Okay, so you work 60 hours a week, and you got a 50 cent an hour raise, so you got a $30 a week raise. Now, did you take on more responsibility for that raise? Is your employer expecting more out of you for that raise? Because $30 a week is only $1,500 a year. That's not very much of a raise. So you need to find a way to be in control of your own income situation. Otherwise, you're letting other people kind of impede on that flow of energy, and that's all money is an energy, right? We call it currency for a reason. Let's think about the other things in life that also have a current. So water has a current, that is an energy. Electricity has a current, that is an energy. And money is just the same way. It flows through, and it's a constant cycle, and money comes and goes, just like electricity comes and goes out of an electric outlet. But you have to be able to receive the blessing. You can't expect to work at McDonald's and try to change your mindset of, I need $5,000 this week. I want to make $5,000 this week. Okay, well, if all you're doing is working at McDonald's for $10, $12 an hour, for 30, 40 hours a week, there's no way for you to receive $5,000 that week. It's just not going to happen because it's not possible. But if you can break out of that, and if you can structure something, say you have a side hustle and you sell a product or a service, now you have something that you're in control of that makes it possible for you to receive what you need. And that's all I'm trying to do, is help you receive what you need. That's all that I ever asked for. Recently, that's all I've been asking for, is the things that I need. Because whenever I only ask for the things that I need, I get exactly what I need, and I get it exactly when I need it. One example, I'm not perfect about it. And I still get stressed and caught up on the old mindset of how money works. And I'm like, man, I need to go book a bigger job this week. I need to sell this. I need to do that. But recently, like I said, I've been cleaning up some things in my life and clearing my mind, focusing on being happier and at peace. And since that has happened, I went from last week, I was a little stressed because this month is slow. The fall and winter are my slow seasons, and spring and summer are just crazy. I can't even keep up with them. But we're halfway through the month, and I don't have the amount of money that I need to pay myself, my salary that I pay myself every month. And so I was kind of stressed out about that last week. But then I just slowed down, stopped stressing about it, and focus on just letting it come. Um, I don't go and follow up on a lot of the jobs that I bid, because if I win it, I win it, and that's what I needed. Um, I don't need to put a lot of thought or stress into the jobs that come to me. And this week I've had, so I need about $3,000 more dollars before the month is up, so that I can pay myself my full salary. Which, if I don't hit the full salary, that's okay. I still pay myself, money to pay the bills and do fun things and put a little bit in savings, and that's okay. But the amount of people that I've had call me in the past, 2, 3 days, just from referrals and repeat clients and things like that, it's really picked up this week. I haven't had any referrals or many repeat clients this month, but I've had 5 or 6 phone calls in the past, I don't know, 48 hours, for people to come do, hundreds of dollars of work. I've got one lady, it's probably going to be, about $1,000. And things just kind of happen that way. So I want to explain kind of how it works, because the law of attraction or The Secret or whatever, if you watched all of that, that's a that's kind of skimming over the surface of how it works. And it isn't just about telling yourself, oh, I'm going to make $5,000 this week, I'm going to make that $3,000 that I need this week. There's other things that you need to understand that go with it. So first, like I said, you need to be in a position where that's even possible, because if you're relying on somebody else, on a boss, to pay you, you're not going to get what you need. That kind of throwing other people in that mix is what that can really mess up the flow of energy, because people are greedy. Companies have overheads that they need to cover. There's just any number of things. But the biggest thing that I want people to understand is that the majority of jobs do not pay people, they pay positions. So are you being valued at work? That was always a big thing for me. How are your superiors? How do they talk to you? What are they expecting of you? And does it correlate with the amount of pay that you receive? Because if you can break free of that, you will find that you are always appropriately compensated for the work that you've done and the actions that you've taken. Now, whether that is, physical work, mental work, or work that even pays money, you're always compensated to the degree or to the extent of basically the energy that you put in. You'll be compensated that no matter what. It just happens. Like I said, the money that I need just seems to show up whenever I need it. There's been times whenever we were a little bit short on cash, and then we have a check show up, like a reimbursement check we've gotten one from our doctor. And this is over a year later after we had our daughter. We got a check back from our doctor because we paid a little bit too much, I guess. So it was like $350. We've gotten checks back from car insurance because we overpaid, I guess. And so things like that, those things can happen. But the biggest thing is having something set up so that it's possible. So if you can't just break away from your job, and that's okay. That was a situation that I was in. I couldn't just quit. I had a fiance and a baby on the way to take care of. But what I did was I opened myself up to new opportunities to earn the money. And that doesn't always have to require extra hours of work necessarily. That's one thing that people get caught up on, and that's probably the worst way to make money, is by selling your time. So understand that if you get paid hourly, if you get paid a salary, you're selling your time. So you need to make sure that you're compensated appropriately for that time, because the people cutting the checks, They don't necessarily care if you feel like you're being compensated fairly. That's not their job. Their job is to maintain a profit, cover the overhead, keep the lights on, and they want to put money in their pockets too. So what can happen whenever you're working for somebody else, and if you're asking for that blessing, you'll never know if something is coming your way for you to receive the blessing, because it'll be taken from you by your employer. They'll step in, somebody will call them with a large job that could be going to you. You know, you could be having that $5,000 job if you were self-employed, but now your employer got that $5,000 job and you're going to get paid $15 to $20 an hour, whatever you make, to go and complete that job. You didn't make any more money, but the energy of your mind could be what brought that opportunity to your employer. So do you want to do all the mind work for your employer? No, you want to be doing it for yourself. So find something that makes that possible. And I know it's so much easier said than done, but it is very simple to do. Simple does not mean easy. So understand that as well. But another thing, and one thing that I really talk about, or really want to talk about, is the law of compensation that does tie in with the law of attraction. These things are real, but people just put too much woo into it. So we're going to break it down and make it a little bit more practical. Um, all it is setting goals and aligning your actions with those goals. If you do those two things, and you do them with the appropriate intention, so that's three things, a trinity, like a lot of things in life: um, goals, actions, and intentions. If you can make those three things line up, and you do it with goodness in your heart and for the benefit of others, you will be compensated appropriately 100% of the time, and it's foolproof. It doesn't. I mean, man, I like looking back on whenever I was working for somebody else and how hard I was working for the money that I was making. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. Whenever I go out and I work for 4 or 5 hours, a lot of days I'm home at like 2 or 3 o'clock, and I'll come home and have like $500-600 that I made. Shit, some days it's over 1,000. But it just seems so silly to go back and working that way. Whenever, like, I made $550 today for 3-4 hours of work, and I used to work all week, a 40-50 hour work week, to make what, $800, $900. um, so just don't fall for the trap. If you do make a lot of money, be smart about how you spend your money. You don't want to be dissatisfied with life and have a lot of shit, because as you see, man, time goes on, and the new car in 5 years, it's not going to be new. But if you took out a large loan on that car, you're going to be upside down on it. You're going to owe more than the car is worth. So now you're just throwing money away. I mean, I don't know. It's simple, and you make the decision for yourself. A lot of people are going to tell me that I'm stupid, or that I'm crazy, or that what I'm saying is bullshit, and that's fine. That's fine. Matter of fact, I want people to be rubbed wrong by this concept, because it's going to, hopefully, it will help you make a shift, and it does take a major shift in your mindset to be able to live this way, or to I mean, and I'm not living any special way. I don't have a mansion. My house is 1,900 square feet. We got 4 beds, 2 baths. So it's an average home. Um, I don't make all the money in the world. I'm not trying to make all the money in the world. I try to pay myself a salary of like $5,500 a month. That's pretty reasonable. That's pretty respectable. That breaks out to about $65,000 a year. That covers everything for my family. No, I don't have a bunch of kids, but I've got my fiance to take care of. We've got our daughter, and we've got 2 dogs, 2 cats, 2 vehicles, a mortgage, all the bills that come along with that, and everything's taken care of. I get a lot more time at home to be just to hang around. I get to spend more time with my daughter. I get to help out around here. Um, I'm not working 60-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks like I was. I mean, whenever I first started working for or first started transitioning away from, we'll call it the old way. That's how I'll refer to it. But whenever I first started transitioning away from that, I mean, I was working on the night shift for an electrical contractor, and I would go out and do jobs on my own in the mornings. So I'd work from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and go make, a couple $100, 300-400, and then go into my night shift and work from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. and make $200. Um, so it obviously didn't take me very long to figure out that this is kind of a shitty deal. I can make this $800 a week up just by picking up 4 extra jobs, and I can knock those jobs out in an hour and a half each. So, I mean, are you okay? Are you okay with selling your time? Because your time that's the only thing that you can't ever replace. So if you're in a position where you're dissatisfied with your job, you're dissatisfied with the amount of money that you make, um, let this video be your permission to go and try something. And I know it's scary and I know it's hard, but that's another thing. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be hard either. But we've been told that it's not for everybody. Not everybody can do it. It's scary. It's hard. It costs money. Yeah, I mean, sure. I took out a $10,000 loan to go and buy tools that I needed. Put a little bit of money put a little bit of money down on a truck. And I didn't go buy a brand new shiny Silverado that cost $40,000 so that I could be a handyman. I bought a 2007 Ford, and I think the truck was like 10 grand. Put 3,000-4,000 down on it. I got a $250 a month truck payment. Just don't get caught up in the keeping up with the Joneses and having all the nice shit, because that's what keeps you trapped in the cycle. And that's what keeps people anxious. That's what keeps you depressed. That's what keeps you feeling lonely. If you don't have time to live life the way that you want, then, I mean, what's the purpose of even being here? We're here to express our will and to bring goodness to others. That's what I center my business around. That's how I treat my clients. I just want to make sure that they're getting the work that they want done the way that they want it. It's really easy, man. It doesn't have to be such a big daunting task. And I mean, let's think about this. If you don't have any money and you go out, take out a little bit of, put a little bit of money on your credit card to go get some supplies that you need to make products, get tools that you need to do work at people's homes. If you spend money on those things and your business doesn't work out, shit, I mean, you're still poor. It's simple. You're not really going to be much worse off than you were, unless you take out like $150,000 loan, but you don't need that for most businesses, unless you're going to go start some nice restaurant. But it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to seem so much bigger than you, because it's not bigger than you. But people don't understand exactly how big they are or how big their mind is. Our mind is infinitely connected with the universe around us. It's been created that way so that we can express our will, so that we can be good to other people, and so that we can bring about the will of God, or the will of the supreme creator. I don't like calling it the universe, because the universe was designed that way, but that's like saying, oh, hey man, that architect built a nice building. Like, all right, yeah, but what is that? Does that building gonna do anything for you? If you want another building built, you have to call the architect. So if you're referring to it as the universe, like, you should try to switch that up a little bit and get away from the new age stuff that teaches you that you're all powerful and that you're the one manifesting these things, and understand that you're able to manifest what you want because it's been designed that way. So next time you want to go and be grateful to the person or the being or the deity that created everything so that it operates that way. Like I said, if you want to build another building, you have to call the architect. The building does not build it for you. If you want something good to come into your life, you need to be grateful to God, not to the universe. Um, it's just something that I've been thinking about today. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but let's do a little bit. I want to do a little challenge. I guess try to, if you want to see if these things that I'm talking about actually work, try to bring about just a small amount of extra money this week. Whether it be find a $20 bill on the floor, or, make a couple extra $100, driving for Uber or Lyft, or there's an app called Handy. There's another app called Tackle, which is very similar. Go look at those things. If you can work with your hands, you're in a very good position to work for yourself, especially if you're a tradesman and you have a license. If you're a plumber or you're an electrician or a carpenter and you're working for somebody else, I don't want to say it like this, but I mean, I feel like you're doing it wrong, man. Tradesmen haven't, dude, like guys that work haven't made. It's so stupid. All you need is a truck and tools, and you write your own ticket. You tell people how much you want to make. You're not beholden to somebody that's offering you an hourly wage that you feel like you're obligated to take. And by the way, you're not obligated to take those hourly wages. If you feel like it's too low, it's too low. Like, you shouldn't feel that way about what you're doing with your hands. Um, I mean, I've shown up to people's homes and we disagree on price, and I'm like, okay, another one will pop up. I don't need the money that bad, and I don't let people talk poorly to me either. I had one guy a couple months ago hit me up on the app that I use, and he was being pretty shitty and rude to me over the messages. And I hadn't even met the guy yet. And I just sent him a message back. I'm like, hey man, listen, like, I don't like the way you're talking to me. So I don't really want to do this job. If you want somebody to come and do work for you at your house, maybe be nice to them. Be a little bit more courteous. I'm coming to your home to do something that you don't understand how to do, or maybe you just don't have the time to do it. But either way, I'm showing up. I'm driving to you with a truck full of tools that I paid for, using my gas that I pay for, and my time that I get paid for, to come and fix shit at your house that you can't fix. So please be respectful. And that's something that people need to do as well, is stand up for yourself. Just because somebody's your superior at work does not give them the right to be rude or talk down to you. And people just let other people run all over them, and then wonder why they're depressed or they don't feel good about themselves. Like, well, maybe if you didn't let that asshole talk shit to you like that, you would feel a little bit better. It feels really good to stick up for yourself. And a lot of people need to understand that too. If you're worried about being fired for standing up for yourself, then you don't need to be at that job anyways. It's not conducive to living a good life. It's not a good work environment, and it doesn't, like, psychologically, it's not helping you at all, especially if you're not making money. If you're not making money and somebody's being a dick, dude, you just got a world of shit going on, because you feel bad about yourself because you're not making money. I should be making more. And this guy's being an asshole to me about it. And I mean, you say all you want that it doesn't bother you, but it's your subconscious that is affected by it. It is your spirit that is affected by it. There is something inside of you every time somebody does you wrong that is saying, this is not right, this is not just, this is not square, and it is not appropriate. And whenever you feel that way, it is your duty to set that right and to make it just. Nobody's going to do it for you, because they don't want you to do it. They want to be able to talk to you the way that they want to talk to you. But man, there's something else that I wanted to talk about. What is it? I don't know. I guess it wasn't really that important, but well, yeah, go out, try to make a couple extra $100 this week. If you do it, let me know about it. I want to hear about it. I want to give people encouragement to keep trying. It's a process. It's a process for sure. Like I said, don't just go out and quit your job and be like, well, I'm just going to manifest all the money that I need, because it takes time. You have to build up the mindset to think that way. Um, but once you can break through that and you can kind of iron out some of the wrinkles of your thinking and your logic, uh, things become effortless, and you don't have to stress so much. Things don't have to be so hard. You don't have to work as hard. That's nice. I mean, dude, there's weeks where I work, 20, 30 hours, make a couple grand. I'm okay. I'm happy with that. Like I said, I don't need $1 million, but if I can make 70, 80 grand doing what I'm doing, why not do it? I mean, it feels good to me. Um, I got a lot more free time. I mean, I'm in control of my time is the big thing. Um, being in control. If you're not in control of your time, I don't want to say that you're going to be dissatisfied, because some people are perfectly okay, working the 40-hour work week schedule. You show up when you show up, you go home when you go home, you have a couple days off a week, and that's fine. Uh, oh, that's something that I want to talk about is the mindset of the 40-hour work week. A lot of people have it built up in their head that only Monday through Friday is for work. But I want to remind you that even the creator worked 6 days and rested one. So it's going to take a lot more than just working 5 days a week and having Saturdays and Sundays off. When I was first getting started, I worked 7 days a week and there was no option about it. I wanted, ooh, damn, beer's got me gassy. I wanted to get out of feeling stuck. So I worked my ass off. I think when the first month that I was doing side work and working full time, um, I worked 40 days in a row with no breaks. I'll have to find my old calendar and see if I'll have it. But it was all of February, and then I think about half of March, without a day off. So don't have it so stuck up in your head that you need all this time off, and if you're not doing anything with that time, then can you really expect for something good to come your way? um, it's up to you, man. I mean, you're responsible for it, and that's all it boils down to is self-responsibility. um, if you want it, you got to work, and but also don't get caught up in the work, because life is not about work. Um, it does take time and it does take work, but eventually you can get to a position where you can ease up on it a little bit, and it doesn't have to be so much. I mean, I think I said on in the introduction to this podcast that there was a point where I wanted to start this business, and I want to have 10 crews doing all these jobs for me, and I want guys in their own trucks, and I'm going to send these guys out, and they're going to go do this and they're going to go do that, and I'm going to make money off of them. And then I had to be honest. I'm just like, did I like it when somebody else was making money off of my back? Not really, especially if they're making more than I was making, and I'm the one doing the work. So, I mean, figure out what you value. Figure out what you think is appropriate and correct, and then be honest with yourself. Be true to yourself, and don't compromise your values. Um, don't get stuck in a job that you're not doing the right thing, but I need to make this money. That's not a good position to be in. Um, God or the universe or whatever does not care that you did immoral things for money. whenever it comes time to be judged, you're going to be judged for the things that you did, even if you were doing them to earn money. So if you're being dishonest to people, if you're selling bad products, if your work is sloppy and you're charging too much, all of those things get brought back to you. That's all part of the cycle of karma or life or just whatever. But you get out of it what you put into it. And like I said, the universe, God, deity, supreme creator, whatever, does not care that you did the things that you did because you had to pay bills. He only cares that you did what you did. And there will be compensation to pay for that. So, but yeah, go out, try to make a couple extra $100 this week. Tell me if you did it. And if you want to leave, I want to see where people are at. If you want to leave a comment down below, saying, I want to know what's the most amount of money that you've made in 24 hours, and what did you do to earn it? I think the most I've earned in 24 hours was, I don't know, probably about $2,000. And I mean, it's just doing some handiwork. Nothing crazy, nothing simple, or I mean, very simple. I don't remodel bathrooms. I don't remodel kitchens. I hang ceiling fans and light fixtures and change out faucets. And I mean, that's a large majority of my work. Like I said, you don't have to be extremely skilled to earn good money. That's a lie. They want you to go to college. They want you to pay money so that you can have a skill. And like, skilled labor does pay very well. 60, 75 grand a year for, go be an electrician. Hell, plumbers make 80 or 90. But if you didn't have the boss that had his own overhead to pay and his own pockets to fill, you'd be doing 150, 200. So just decide what you think is best for you, and don't compromise. Don't settle for less, and go get it.